What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bev Boys, your one-stop shop for all your energy drink reviews. I'm Christian,
I'm Brian.
and we are the Bev Boys. And today we're going to talk about some stuff, and we got a little surprise for everyone. We'll wait until it gets a little bit closer to that time to unveil it. But yeah, let's get it kicked off. Brian, you got a drink for us today, or what do we?
I
I
do.
just got okay. I just got fucking
Oh,
water, so
Cubs water. Cubs water. Underrated. I have
this is just
something that's
regular
potentially
water.
disgusting,
Okay,
but
I'm
it
all for
caught my
that.
eye, and I caught my eye, and I had to do it. It was $1.99, which when I bring it up, it's gonna be like, wow, why is that so expensive? In this can, I will say this: there is 34 milligrams of caffeine. So
Hmm.
not what you would typically see in my hand for anybody that knows and watches or views or listens. But today I have something that I potentially think is going to be absolutely disgusting outright. But I did it. The Coca-Cola Oreo flavor.
Now I have seen that actually. I haven't seen the can. That can actually looks kind of sick. If
I mean,
I
the can looks sick. The can
I've
looks
seen it in the
sick. The black
bottle.
and white. You have a little bit of Oreo. Um, they have like the actual Oreos like stacked up in to make it look like a can. I don't know. That's
Yeah, I've
it's fizzy
seen.
cookie flavored. That's what it says.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those. Like when I was back in the States, it was just in the zero sugar format. I don't think is that like a full sugar or just a zero sugar?
Zero sugar, baby. I ain't drinking my calories unless I'm drinking my calories.
Yeah. So I think they only did, as far as I know, like a sugar-free version, which is interesting. Interesting collab for sure. I know that Coke has done. They've obviously done like the cherry Coke, the vanilla Coke. They did like a coffee Coke as well.
The coffee
The
Coke was really
Oreo
good.
is,
I like the coffee Coke.
yeah, I liked it as well. But the Oreo is interesting. So, um, yeah, you might be in
It
for a rough
smells
time.
like yeah. It smells like when like you take like the cream from an Oreo.
Hmm.
It smells like the cream that you just took a bunch of creams and like threw them in like a can of Coke.
Okay. So
Here
it's
we
like
go.
that one kid who doesn't have any of the cookies and just scrapes off the cream.
Yeah, it ain't bad. It's not
Okay.
bad. It's different. So it tastes like I think I you know what it really tastes a lot like. Do you remember when Coca Cola did the like marshmallow flavor for like the actual DJ marshmallow?
I don't, but I don't doubt that they did it. Um, is it similar to that?
Yeah, it tastes a lot like that. It tastes a lot like that with like a little bit more like Oreo cream. Like I don't know if Oreo cream has like a vanilla versus a marshmallow kind of flavor or just like a cream flavor. It's really not bad, but then you get like it. You get that cream flavor first, and then you get wave of Coke, of Coca
Hmm.
Cola, Coca Cola. For you get a wave of Coca Cola.
Okay. So not the worst thing ever.
No, like I wouldn't get it again, but like as far as it goes, it ain't bad. I'm not gonna seek that out. Like a Diet Coke is still the best Coca Cola. In my opinion, that's the best one. Um, it's even better than Coke Zero. Uh, this out of all, like I don't know, it ain't. It's not terrible. I don't find it delicious, but like as a sipper, if like you were say at a party and like your aunt's like, hey, we got these. You guys should have one, and then they hand it to you, and you're like, oh, all right, you'll sip
Okay.
on it, make make her happy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Uh,
Interesting collab for sure.
well, yeah, I don't really understand like what made that happen. I guess like you don't normally think of like a cola and like a cookie. You would think more of like, at least in our realm, you think more of like a protein bar or like a protein powder and a cookie. you know,
Yeah.
something that wouldn't like it has similar textures at least in some way, shape, or form, or like you would think of it more as like a milkshake or something, not like, hey, here's this really like thin liquid that's carbonated. Let's put cookie in the carbonated thin liquid.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any like connection between the brands or if they're
Does
just like
I was gonna say, does Coke own Nabisco?
I don't they might, but I mean it's also like both these brands are like very established and huge. Like even if it tastes terrible and is a massive failure, like it's probably not that big of a deal for either of them, I would reckon. Yeah, I'm reading an article about it right now. Limited time only products. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Let's see.
Uh,
Largest. Where it says the launch is also the largest Coca-Cola Creations partnership by far. September, 35 markets
really?
worldwide. Yeah. Hmm. That's interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I have an
Don't.
accurate depiction. The Celsius like is it Cosmic Vibe or not something like that, whatever it was, the Mandarin marshmallow flavor.
Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it has that like that marshmallowy flavor with Coca Cola versus like an orange. So it
Okay.
ain't bad.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't
Yeah.
care a whole.
Um,
I don't care enough to keep reading into it. But that is
yeah.
that is cool. Now
No,
I know.
I was
I
kind of
had thought
hoping
about.
this would be like a dumpster fire.
Yeah, so was I. I had thought about picking one of those up just because it's like, oh, I'll try it. But then I was like, like I don't want it to be bad. So now I know I probably won't get one for
Yeah.
myself. But maybe I will. Who knows? Um, but yeah, that's cool. It's definitely unique. Yeah,
We do. Now, for anybody listening, obviously it sounds like it's a little bit of a dead conversation, mainly because we're stalling a little bit. And that's because we're introducing a brand new segment. Um, the segment is called Jake's Takes. Now, what this is we will have someone be joining us. His name is Jake. Jake Harrell, historically known around our circles for hot takes, or at least the ability to get fired up around these pieces. Now, Jake's a fiery guy. He's got a lot of opinions. He'll be coming in here as soon as he joins. And once he does, we're going to see him essentially lose his mind for 5 minutes and see what he has to say. So I'm gonna cue in Jake and see if he's ready to roll. Of course,
yeah,
hot take for Jake right off the bat. Why are you not prepared for this? The guy said app is downloading. What are we doing here?
yeah. This is gonna be interesting. We've both firsthand witnessed the crazy takes that he has sometimes. I remember one time, this is back during the internship, I was at Piedmont Ale House for about 3 hours, him going back and forth with our man. Oh shoot, there he is. There he, the man, the myth, the legend, man of the hour.
The man,
Hey,
the
it's game time. Um, not gonna waste not not gonna waste any time. I know time is short. We're gonna take it away from sports today. Okay, first Jake's takes. Simple enough. Just gonna put it out there. Mayo. It's not a top five condiment. It's not. It's not a top five condiment. You can't prove to me that it is.
that's what you hit us with today.
Is that a rough take right now?
You come out. I heard that you had an absolute banger queued up, and you came in and said mayo's not a top five condiment. We all know that.
I thought you disagreed. You're a foodie, okay?
I'm
If
not
you
a big
want,
fan of mayo.
hey, if
I
you
don't
hey
like mayo.
hey, if
Neither
you
am I.
want, we can kick it to the OG. I got a Brian knows I got an OG take that I will stand by.
Let's hear it. What
Yeah,
do you
let's do that
got?
one because neither of
It
us like
is
mayo.
it is bad for it is so bad for both parties when you wait for someone to cross the road.
Explain.
explain. All right, I will. When you wait for a car to stop for you, okay, the car stops. They've got to pause. You stop because no one just walks across the street like without looking both ways. Like, are you insane? Now everybody's slowed down. You just slowed down the whole process. It would be faster if the car just kept going. It'd be so much faster if the car just kept going, and you just calmly waited, walked across the street. That
So what?
then
So wouldn't it slow down the process at least for the individual because they're still waiting for the car to go? Then
no, but you don't. But you're already stopped though. You're already stopped at waiting. That's what I'm saying. It makes it faster if the car stops. Now you've inconvenienced two people for the price of one. Because not only is the car stopping, the car's got to stop and go again. You're gonna walk, and everybody walks slow across the street, which is another take for another day. Because that's just ridiculous. We gotta get people on this. You gotta jog across. If someone's stopping for you and you're walking slow, you're the scum of the earth. Okay, that is
Jesus.
sickening. Why?
Okay, yeah,
Why
that's
can't we
that's
get
more
more
what I
people with some
expected.
pep in their step when they cross the street?
this is what we were looking for.
Yeah, this is
Like,
okay. Yeah,
what are we
keep on
doing here?
this.
Okay, and now, and when the car stops, now I'm stopped. If I'm in the car, I'm stopped. I'm waiting on you. You're gonna look both ways. That's another 5 seconds. Then you're gonna walk slow to the center lane. You're gonna probably look again to make sure. Okay, is the other side stopping? Well, think about all the cars behind me. You just stopped everybody. Versus if I just keep driving and I just keep going. Now you've only wasted, I didn't waste any time. The person standing there is just assuming, oh, I'm going to have to sit here for 20 seconds. If the cars are going, we can do some math on this. If the cars are going 35 miles an hour, in theory, mathematically, it would take less time for them to just drive past you and you just sit there and
No
wait.
shit. No shit. It would take less time.
Okay, so the
So
take stands.
so then what? So what do you do if you have like an old lady and she can't quickly get across the street? And so like, what do you do then? Do you stop for the old lady, or do you just keep zooming, and every car just
But
keeps
that,
zooming, and then she
but
just
that's what
waits?
I'm saying. Think about that though. If I stop and the lady begins to cross the road, now everybody, me included, and behind me, has now wasted, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes. How slow is the lady? How old is she? Is she using a walker, or is she just walking normally? These are the questions you got to think of because those all factor in. You know what I mean? Versus
So
she just stands there, doesn't move. She waits until all the cars are gone, and then she crosses.
so what happens if you're at like a stoplight and you're in like the right lane to turn,
Okay.
and they're walking? Where does the rule apply there?
You talking about? Okay, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear you. Throwing in some curveballs here. See that? See that? I'm gonna err on the side of you might just have to wait there because if they have the signal, then you're getting into written rules. If there's a signal there that gives them the right of way to walk, well, then that's in paper. That's in writing.
Okay, so
But
all
the
this
crossing the
applies to like
street thing,
rural areas where there's no stoplights or just kind of a free for all when you're
A non,
crossing.
yeah,
a
I'm thinking.
non-stoplight
I'm thinking.
situation.
We all know. We all know. Okay, let's think about it this way. You're on your way to Circle K from alumni, okay? And there's all these students that cross the road right over there in that parking lot right next to the dining
Circle
hall.
K.
Yeah, yeah, but before that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
in the
it'd
road,
be
not at the
faster
stoplight.
it'd be faster for all of us to just drive to the stoplight versus wait.
That's true. I'll give you
Okay?
that. That is true.
Once you get to the Circle K and there's people walking, then I'm in the well, you're kind of already there. You're already stopped. The light's already red, right? So then you're not in like you're already your momentum is already stopped. You're already there. The brake's already been touched. Um so that's just my take. I don't know. I might catch flack on Twitter for this.
I would love for
But
this to get to Twitter,
that's
please.
that's the that I mean that's why we play this game, right? You play the game for the wins and the losses. So, um, if that's what I got to live with, that's what I got to live with. But if anyone argues with me, they're just wrong. You're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion can also be wrong. So
Uh,
um,
okay.
that that's gonna be my screaming hot take of week one. I'm gonna come back with some heat, but that's what I got. That's what I got week one. So
All right, brother. I
hey,
All
love
right,
it.
Jake's
yeah,
takes, the
appreciate
premiere.
it.
Appreciate you, dog. Okay.
All right,
Well,
screaming hot take. He gave us 2 to 3. He gave us 2 to 3.
yeah, he gave
Mayo's
us two
not
or
an
three.
elite condiment.
Yeah, it started off not great, got a little better. Um,
Boy got nervous. The lights got bright. Pissed down his leg. Moment was too big. That's our fault. We put him in. We should have gave him a
that's
training
true.
wheel.
That's
We
true.
should have put him in practice a couple more times. That's our fault.
That's
That's
true.
on
We
us.
should have approved the take. That's all right. For all the 3 people watching it, I guess you'll be disappointed like you usually are. Sorry about that. What do you think about that? Do you have any input on that?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think Mayo's an elite condiment. I'll agree with him. I think Mayo can be good in some certain things. If you maybe on a sandwich, maybe on a burger, depending on which burger, which sandwich. I don't hate the take. I don't hate the take on you should keep driving. Not arguing on that one. I think we get in a little bit dicey situations when we get the older populations. Me though, I do like driving fast, so I don't want people to stop me. But the last one does get me good. I agree wholeheartedly, and I feel like we just scale up with my agreement on him. And it's that if I'm stopping for you at the stoplight or wherever we're stopping, and
On the
you're gonna
hop.
walk across that street, you better get to fucking stepping.
Yeah. On the hop, coach. Yeah, I'm with you on that
on the
one.
hop. Get it moving.
Yeah.
Knees to
Yeah, I'm
chest.
with you on that one. Um, yeah, I'd say I'm a little bit
What?
opposite of you. Like I'm more likely to slow down for people. But actually, honestly, after living here, I'm probably more like you because like if you wait to cross the street, you might be waiting forever because people just aren't going to stop. So you just kind of, as the pedestrian, you just got to force it. Go out into the road,
Yeah.
give them the stiff arm, Heisman,
Whoa.
and then just keep going. And they'll probably cuss at you, but if you don't understand Spanish, it's fine because you won't know anyway. And if you're
Just
the one
bounces off.
driving, you exactly. And then if you're the one driving, you just honk and swerve because that's just what everyone else does. So you're in the right.
Maybe hit a pothole.
Yeah, you definitely have. We just got a flat tire the other week, actually, unfortunately. But
Damn.
yeah. But okay, Jake's takes. Episode
Man,
1 is in the books.
Jake's takes. Hopefully he comes back with some more heat. We'll go back to the drawing board with him. See if I can't get him riled up throughout the week on something so we can come in with something hot next week.
Yeah.
Let's
instigate that.
I have a good. I will anyone that knows me, I will instigate that to get that boy fired up. But I got a good one for you. We talk about energy drinks a lot, and I do mean a lot. Ingredients, cans, flavors, everything like that. We tend to bring up a lot of our favorites, right? And that's what we love. Everybody loves to talk about their favorites. Everybody loves to talk about what's good. Now we've had a couple bad ones as well. What's the worst, like the top 3 worst energy drinks that you've had?
It's a good question. I'm gonna say might be number 1 is that gridlock we tried, that full sugar. It tasted like Red Bull, but not quite like a Red Bull, and it was full sugar, and it was just. I think we each took about a sip and a half and just threw the rest of it out.
True.
Can't really be mad given the price and what we were expecting of it. That one was pretty rough.
89 cents.
Exactly. Yeah, can't beat that. I'm trying to think of what other bad ones I've had. There's definitely some that
3 off the rip.
You go ahead. I can name ones that I don't have a
Yeah.
preference for, but I've still drank. Uh,
One of them, right off the rip, one of our very first episodes, the cherry sludge Alani knew. That was garbage. It was cough
okay.
syrup with sugar, or
See,
at
I
least
like that one.
erythritol. Was disgusting. Two of the absolute fucking worst ones I've ever had in my entire life. Number one, the Bang birthday cake bash. That was so disgusting. It there was why would you ever make a birthday cake flavored energy drink? That should have never been a thing. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And then my last one here, cotton candy flavored any energy drink. Does not belong in energy. All it is just it's just sugar flavored. That's all it is. For some reason, the entire world has this fascination with cotton candy. Cotton candy this, cotton candy that. Cotton candy tastes like shit. That might be my hot take for Jake's takes today, but cotton candy is a F tier flavor, and it does not belong in any energy drink. It doesn't belong in a pre-workout flavor. It doesn't belong in a Slurpee or an Icy or a fucking pop or a protein, anything. It doesn't. It sucks. I've never had cotton candy flavored anything and been like, wow, that's pretty good. The only cotton candy
Okay.
thing I've ever had that was at least halfway decent was actual cotton candy. And even after 3 bites, I'm like, great. Now my mouth is blue, my lips are red, and my teeth hurt, and it's all gone. It sucks. I hate it.
Okay. Those two Celsius that we tried that we thought were going to be pretty good, like that green apple cherry one. That
That was a
one,
letdown.
yeah, that was
It was a
more
letdown, but I don't think it
disappointing.
was terrible.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more disappointing than bad. Same thing with that peach raspberry one. That one was pretty
Yeah.
rough. They were just letdowns because I was expecting that green apple cherry one to be actually kind of smacking, and it was just meh. Oh, that dude,
Yeah.
Fit 8 RX we tried, that shit was trash. Um, the
Was
one we
that
tried
really an
when,
energy drink though? It's more of like a
nah, that's
recovery
more.
drink.
I'll
Still
tell you what the energy drink
still
was that
counts
was
though.
bad. Yeah, that Focus that we tried, that was I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
like that.
that was
That
terrible.
was bad.
That
Um, yeah, that was
that
bad.
made
I
me
didn't
feel like
like
I had to go to
that.
the bathroom immediately.
Yeah, just the taste was not good. I think those are the main ones
Also,
for me.
a lot of the Jocko goes
Jocko's not great on the
didn't
flavor. I like the formula,
on
not
the flavor.
not yeah. You know what might
Now
have been like a really bad one, and they do really good flavors other than this one, and I just tried it when you
I
had
think I
it,
know.
is that Gorilla Mine Tiger's Blood. Do
Yeah,
you remember that?
that
That was,
that was like that weird like pineapple kind of tropical punch
it just
thing.
wasn't
It
good.
missed
It just
me.
wasn't good. And all their other flavors are really good, except for that one.
Every other flavor is spectacular. The white one, that Arctic Blitz one, is great.
Yep.
The lemon drop one, the
The
strawberry
strawberry,
candy.
the watermelon candy one's
Oh,
good. Black cherry vanilla. Yeah, that one was that, but that one was bad. That
those are
Tiger's Blood.
yeah. What is Tiger's Blood flavoring? I'm gonna find that because I gotta know. I feel like we Tiger's Blood flavor. Tiger's Blood flavor is supposed to be a sweet and fruity flavor that combines strawberry, watermelon, and coconut. It was like shit from a butt.
I'm not gonna lie, fruit punch flavors usually do not hit in energy drinks. They do not.
There's I I think fruit punch is almost as overrated as cotton candy. I don't like
Yeah,
fruit
fruit
punch
punch is
Gatorade either.
bad. Fruit punch is bad.
It's a
In
bad flavor. It's a
pre-workouts as
bad
well.
flavor. Yeah, it never hits. Like the when people would buy back when we first started working out. So when you and I were
C4,
younger,
fruit punch.
C4, fruit punch, and blue raz. If you
Those are
didn't
the
do blue
two.
raz and you did fruit punch, there's something wrong with you, like mentally. And I hope you're okay at this point. We might need to get you into counseling, but there's
Yeah,
only one
those.
energy drink that's a fruit punch flavor that I've had that I legitimately liked. And it's because it was an authentic flavor collaboration by C4, and it was the C4 Hawaiian Punch flavoring. Fruit punch and Hawaiian punch are two different things. Now, if we're gonna be able to like kind of give fruit punch any kind of leeway, we'll have to kind of push them together. But the Hawaiian punch C4, unreal. I think I gave that like an 8.4, 8.4, 8.3. It was delicious. Um, do I think there's 1,000 other fruit punches that tear it down? Yes. It's just it's I don't know how to explain. Like, it's just like it doesn't have an identity as a flavor other than it's sweet. You know what I mean? You don't ever really pick
Hmm.
up like, oh, that's the watermelon, that's the cherry, that's the strawberry, that's the berry. It's this or it's that. It's like, oh no. How about we just kind of make an androgynous like fruit flavor and make it sweet, overly sweet? Don't like that. Not a big fan.
Yeah, I would
Now,
agree.
there is one thing I'd be really excited for to see happen. And we talked about this a little bit before on an older episode, not so long ago. But shout out to Ghosts. They were purchased by Dr. Pepper Keurig for like 999 million.4 dollars, so almost $1 billion. Shout out to the boys. Way to go. Pulled the Cartman, startup, cash out, bro down. Like, you guys did it. You were so massive in the space. They still kept creative control, so like we'll still see a lot of good things from Ghost. But the exciting thing is Ghost is known for doing all of their flavor collaborations, right? I just had the Welch's grape shoot on Kel's episode. You know, we've had Sour Patch Kids flavors that we've tried, Bubblicious, you know, literally everything. The cherry limeade is basically Sonic cherry limeade. They've had all these great flavors. They have one job to do now, and it's please make a Dr. Pepper flavored Ghost Energy. I will drink nothing else. I will pee brown because it will literally just be that 24/7. Please make it happen.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would definitely drink that as well.
It's just like the root beer from Bum Energy. Even the root beer from Bang used to be pretty good. That was one of the better Bang flavors. Was the root beer.
Hmm.
Um, and cream soda. I feel like that's an underrated flavor when it comes to like an energy drink. No
Hmm.
one ever does it. Bang used to have one, and it was like their champagne flavor or whatever I call it, but it was like a cream soda.
Yeah, just do cream soda or a sarsaparilla.
A sarsaparilla would go hard. Wouldn't hate necessarily like a Cheerwine energy drink. You know, they've expanded into Cheerwine has like regular, obviously their diet or zero. They made a Cheerwine ale as well. So like an actual beer kind of deal. You've done all the other categories. Do an energy drink. That's
Yeah,
just me.
that could no, that could be interesting as well. I definitely would vote for the cream soda one, for sure.
Oh yeah. I would also love to see like more legitimate like pineapple flavors in energy drinks.
I'm
I
not a
think I've
huge
only seen a
pineapple
couple.
fan. I'm not a
Yeah,
huge pineapple fan, but there isn't a whole lot of them out there. There's that the
I can only
Gold
think of like
Monster
two
Ultra.
off the top. Oh, three,
That's I
including
think
that.
that's
They don't
technically
even make that
pineapple.
anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in forever. And then
I
there's
loved that one. The
yeah,
first form, tropical, which was like heavy pineapple, a little bit of mango,
that's
but
right.
that one was delicious. That was our first form, and we were
Right.
not expecting anything good from that, and it wowed us.
I think Jocko makes a
Um,
pineapple something. Probably a pina
I
colada.
know Killcliff makes the Rogan flavor, the spicy jalapeno pineapple. I do like that. That is good. I feel like you can't drink that like every day because of the spiciness. Not because it's spicy, but because it's like it's such a niche flavor.
Yeah,
Someone could get sick
it's
of it.
right.
But still good. Sorry, I'm so off in the deep end right now. I'm looking into like different ones. Oh,
No, it's
another
all good.
bad flavor was the jalapeno strawberry. You remember when Rain did like the Rain Infernos? I don't think
Yes,
they
I was
still
like, I
make them.
remember the flavor. I couldn't remember the brand. It was Rain. Yes, I do. I don't know if
It
I
was like
tried that one
the
or not.
they had like three flavors, and they were all supposed to be more of like essentially like Rain's like version of
Fat burner
Celsius.
energy drink, like a
Yeah,
metabolism boosting,
yeah.
the same shit that they were already
They
selling,
had
but with some black pepper extract or ginseng instead of
yeah.
caffeine anhydrous or something like that.
It was Red Dragon, which was like their dragon fruit flavor. Obviously, True Blue, which was like a blue raz, and then the last one was jalapeno strawberry.
Yeah, I
And then
remember
they
that.
did a watermelon one too.
Hmm,
I just
interesting.
don't. Do they still make the Rain Inferno?
I have no idea.
You never
I'm, I'm out of
you never see
touch
it
now
anymore.
that yeah, I never see it even when I was back home. As I say, I'm fucking out of touch. All I know is sparkling ice and Fit Aid.
Gotta help the boy out. I wonder if that has to do with like any of the laws in like the DR, like within like their like food, not their food and like not their like maybe their version of like the FDA, where you can't
But
have like a high caffeine consumption or something.
I don't think it's that because I would say if anything they're less strict down here. Because I've seen
Okay,
like I mean I think the main thing is like it's shipping and it's not probably people probably
a big
aren't.
market.
Yeah, it's like I think on a base level, this is my ignorant, uneducated guess about how it works. Is it's a less developed country. Like if going to a gym is like a luxury service, like having energy drinks is probably a very luxury service. So, and I think
Yeah,
coffee's big down here as well. So I just don't think they're as popular down here. So there's not as big of a demand. Now, like I said, like I see there's that gas station that sells like C4 once in a while, but it's like
hmm
that's the only place I've really found. And I'm sure there's a place like in the capital where you could find some more stuff, but yeah, I just don't think there's as big of a market down here. I don't know if I don't think it's more of just like a shipping thing as well. Like literally on an island,
yeah.
it's tougher to get stuff. Um, there's obviously more important stuff that needs to get shipped here than energy drinks. But
There was two flavors of Rain though. Now that we're kind of on the Rain, three actually that I don't think you see anymore ever. Number one is the peach fizz. It was like the orange with the purple on the helmet.
hmm
Number two was the Mango Matic. That was actually a pretty good one. I'm not a big mango guy when it comes to drinks, but I think they did a pretty good job. And the last one is the one I've been looking for. I've been chasing that dragon ever since probably Raid. I think got purchased by Monster, and that was the lemon heads flavor. That one was unreal.
I never see them. I don't see the Melon Mania one as much anymore, or I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's like it's not watermelon, right? It's like truly like a
No,
melon flavor.
yeah, it's the helmet's red and green.
Yeah, you don't really see that one either. Um, you don't really see they had a carnival candy flavor too. Cotton candy sucked. Doesn't matter. Love rain. Hate cotton candy flavor. And the sour apple. You don't see the sour apple one anymore either.
No.
That was like their original like six flavors, and I feel like they worked their way away from them. But it's like people loved them. I know I loved them,
hmm
except for the cotton candy. That one sucked. Um, but
uh,
I'm on my cotton candy hate train.
yeah, you certainly are. uh, well, anyway,
You said, yeah, I was gonna say you had some stuff that you wanted to talk about today.
yeah.
So why
Anyway,
don't?
let's get you in a more positive state of mind here. I guess let's. I didn't have this exactly. I didn't have this exactly written down, but I'll ask anyway because it'll get something good out of you. How has been the transition to effectively becoming the sprints coach at Elon? Obviously, like you worked as the performance coach in the weight room ever since you've gotten there, but now you've taken over the short sprints and horizontal jumps, correct?
Yeah,
As
yeah.
so you're kind of handling it on all facets of training. How has that been going? And yeah, just kind of elaborate on that, I guess.
I will say. So yeah, so anyone that doesn't know, when I first started Elon, just a sports performance coach working with the complete track and field team, cross country team, and the football team as an assistant for Coach DeMarco. Over the past 6 months, I transitioned to not only having that role and now taking over on the track as a event coach, or what you would call like a position coach for other sports, taking over like the 60 through the 200, the 4x100 relay, and then our long jump and triple jump practice. And then I do have like one hurdler because she's also a triple jumper, so I'll kind of like moderate her. Um, but everything has been great. The only thing that kind of sucks is like recruiting. It's just a lot of time, and anyone who's ever been on that side, like it's not fun. Like talking to people, like getting them, like finding out about them, and like getting them to kind of be interested and like kind of like courting them to come to the school to be on your team and kind of deciding like who do I want to really train and who has like good talent. Like that's a cool thing. It's just a lot of time. Um, Finding these people and finding these kids, like for the most part it's hard because like you'll reach out, sometimes you don't get any, like you don't hear back from them at all and things like that, and then there's a lot of like different rules that you have to comply with to make sure, and you have to like record everything you do to make sure you're compliant, not doing anything wrong. That sucks. It just sucks because it's so much like administrative like paperwork. um get talking to them all good, like evaluating talent, that's like for the most part like we can do that because it's like, hey, how do they move, what's their outputs, like that's stuff that we've always done in our realm, so it's like an easy transition. But training the team is unbelievable. It's so much fun. um Obviously you do have a larger like time that you have to take with them because not only are you doing their weight room sessions, but you're also doing their practice. But you're never not in the know, which is a cool thing. And if you need to make a change, you can just make that change because you'll know it's going to affect X and Y, and you're in the know on both sides. It's been so easy to match our stressors of practice, moderate volumes, make our progression. I've been able to, without having to have so many conversations, but like match deload weeks on the track and in the weight room when we are super intense, pairing super intense. That way we can kind of dig during that accumulation period in that trench to super compensate. And it's kind of freed up a little bit in the weight room, I'll be honest, because I can address some of the stuff like during practice, which is really cool. Um, so like I might not have to worry, before I didn't know. So it was like, hey, like let's make sure that some of these things get taken care of for them, like some sprint mechanics and whatnot during that piece. Well, I don't really have to because now there's 20 minutes of practice that's being addressed in that aspect. You know, I might not have to do so many plyos in the weight room because I'm taking care of plyos out there and I know that it's being done to like the specific way I want them done in order to make whatever desired adaptation, the volume that I need to get done to properly progress it, so on and so forth. And then obviously, like, I feel like everybody wants to call themselves like, oh, I'm a speed guy, I'm a speed guy, I'm a speed guy. It's like, yeah, you want to because it's cool, but like, are you actually knowledgeable about that? So it's been really fun to like actually go be the speed guy, make those small tweaks and changes, and have practice kind of run. Like everyone in my group that I train at this point, we have an instantaneous velocity over 20 miles an hour, including our freshmen, which is huge in that sport. And like our lower ones aren't our sprinters. Our lower ones are our jumpers, and they're kind of pushing their way up towards that 21. But all the true dedicated sprinters are above 21 miles per hour in an instantaneous velocity. So like being able to see that, then I bring that to the weight room. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I see how they move on the track. I don't have to like try and like scour to find that. I just see it every day. Well, I'm going to fix some things in here so I can get more out of it. Or I see, hey, we might not be strong in our projection angle. Well, now I can intervene with some exercises in the weight room as an accessory in order to get what I want. It's just, it's such a different thing. And I think if having had a background in both, as both a performance coach and as a sprints coach, helps me a ton. Whereas, like, sometimes you'll be at a situation where they're a track coach and they don't really have a strength coach, so the track coach just does it. And sometimes you just get into like lackluster things where but they don't really know what they're doing. They don't have time to learn. And it just kind of becomes a mess, or vice versa, where, if someone else was in my position, but didn't have like necessarily say like the background on like kinematics or like biomechanics towards like the sport of track and field, they might just go out there and be like, you need to run faster. So let's just run fast, and we'll never kind of touch like technical things, or we're going to really stray away from something where we might get into like specific or special endurance and things like that, because we'll just do a max velocity day and an ACL day. Well, we need all the other stuff too. We need the technical days. We need a mid-intensity day, so to say, to just work on some things. Like, having the understanding from both worlds has helped a ton. And I'm just ranting right now, but it's been an absolute blast to do it and like have control. And you can always find a coach that you'll like mesh with, and you'll like to work with, and you think they're really good. But it's really, really fun when you are in the driver's seat on both sides, and you just say, I think this is what we need based off of this and this and this, and it no longer becomes track practice or the weight room. It is now, this is our 2-hour training session. If I have to divvy some up here and there, then we'll divvy it up this way. And I get to address everything I want, how I want, and do it that way, which is super, super fun. And I think it also helps relationships with the athletes, getting the buy-in and being like, well, we're going to cover everything. I just need you to hammer this right now. And so far, I think we've done a really good job over the fall of like being where we need to be. Excited because next Saturday we'll have a meet, only for jumpers. It's just like almost like a meet to get marks for like larger meets in December. But hopefully things go well. There's been challenges of like, well, I feel like, I knew long jump and I knew sprinting because I had worked with them before. I've only like been around triple jumpers, not necessarily dedicatedly like worked with them before, especially as like a head event coach for them. So there was like, hey, I have so much to learn. I need to learn it, but it made me grow, which is cool, which then helped me in other areas. So not to rant too much.
No, that's sick. Here's an actual question that I did have written down, and this kind of what you just said kind of leads well into this. You talked about people being speed guys. Everyone wants to be a speed guy. What are some things that like, and I'm thinking like particularly like drilling, like people do drilling. I know we talked about this a little bit, Elon. What like speed drills, technical drills are worth it in your opinion, and which ones are just kind of a waste of time that you see people do very often? What are some things that you see people not do very often that could be helpful when you're training track or just team sport athletes?
There's two things I really hate. Three. I'll say three that I really hate, and I'll give you three that I really love. I hate wall drills. I don't think
Do
they
that.
truly work. The only wall drill that I think is warranted is the wall march, and that's when we start low and you have to apply force into the ground to like essentially transition and work in the transition phase from ACL to max velocity. If we're just doing switches on the wall, it really emphasizes like the thigh lift versus the force into the ground. You put force into the ground, the other leg will naturally lift. If you're only concerned about like lifting the leg away, you're not going anywhere. And that's what pisses me off is it's ground reactionary forces that propel somebody down the track or down the field. If you don't put force into the ground, it doesn't mean shit. So not a big fan of those. I hate arm action drills. Especially when it comes to like seated arm action drills. All we're doing is isolating something so deep that it no longer happens with the contralateral sling from your right shoulder to your left hip or your left shoulder to your right hip. those have to happen in congruence with the hip drive of the hip extension and hip flexion. That if they don't, it makes no sense. Especially if you're putting a freaking dumbbell or a plate in their hand. They're not doing anything. They're not learning anything. And all it does, and the other thing too, we want the relaxation of the arm. So if you're locked here to here and this is how you're doing it, well now you're just drilling in tense muscles versus a relaxation aspect. And my final one that I absolutely hate, I'm not a big fan of dowel runs or like a med ball punch run. I don't like them.
Okay.
I think they over reinforce kyphosis in the shoulders and get that rounding. There is one variation of all of them that I do like. I like when you take the dowel and you put it behind the back like a barbell. You open
Okay.
the chest up, and the athlete truly feels the rotation of when they go to accelerate. That's the only variation. Don't like it over the head. Hate it in the front.
Okay.
Three kind of drills or something that I really, really, really like. I love like there's the mock series and then there's the A series. The mock series being like A skip, A march, A skip, B skip, C skip. That's like the mock. And then there's the A series, which has been an expanded version of that. So there's A march, A skip, like a boom boom. So like a double. Then there's like a triple boom or an A stick triple. And then there's like an A stick, which is literally just switch and stick, drilling in like the scissoring action in the air of the legs. And the other thing that I really like about that is you'll see like a movement competency or like a movement screening when they drive their foot into the ground. If they can't stick and they have that like little heel bounce, you instantaneously know that their soleus is not prepared or their Achilles is not prepared enough to withstand and redirect forces and have that produced down the track. So you have something that you can then visually see of like, we need to work on that because it may lack for down later. And then there's also not a big fan of the B skip because I think it teaches a little overstriding unless you're with a hurdler. One thing I absolutely love, nobody does enough. And truly, when I say do enough, I don't think they do enough of it right. And that's the dribble series. So we have an ankle dribble, a calf dribble, a knee dribble, a dribble down or a bleed down. So you start knee, go down to the ankle, or a bleed up, which is you bleed from ankle to knee. Three things need to happen with the dribble series. Number one, you have to be with the chest up, open, in a tall, upright posture like you would be. Your eyes have to go forward. You can't be looking down because we're kind of taking away, we're losing the forest with trees with that. It has to be a rotary action, meaning like I like to cue it as like if you were like the cat. Like sometimes you see like those at like old Chinese restaurants, they'd have the cat that you put the quarter on and it would pull it back. That paw back. Exactly. Either that or I cue it as like you're riding like a really small bicycle. We need it to
Yeah.
kind of rotary.
That cyclical
Um,
action almost.
Yep, that big cyclical versus like a piston action in an A series. And just like the A series in the dribble series, if we're kind of just flopping around and getting really like pity pattery with we can do it for 10 meters and do it extremely intense and try to put force into the ground. It's not going to hurt you, number one. All it's going to do is make you better. And if you moderate the volume and maybe you don't do it every single day, but you work through it, it's going to help. If you're really like pitter pattery and kind of soft on the ground, we're not getting out of it what we want. You're just kind of like dogging it. And I don't want to coach intensity or intent. I shouldn't have to coach you wanting to do something. If I do, then we're so far behind that it's not going to work. And one thing that I haven't done, just from like an equipment standpoint and haven't gotten it kind of like having like started later in this, haven't really had a chance to get after it. I love a wicket run, but there's a caveat. So wickets are mini hurdles spaced in order to improve front side mechanics, and that's a really big thing with them. Now, the problem I see a lot of times when people introduce wickets is they have a standardized distance. And this is where it gets really tough if you have a large team that's doing them, or if you have, say, like if you're trying to utilize them in like a football space where you have 60 athletes maybe in a session. It's so hard to try and make that happen in the right way. Whereas I think like if You're going to use wickets. It works better to like a small group setting, and you can have essentially. And I have a chart that I've gotten and kind of worked on a little bit more, but I took it from like one of my coaches that I worked under, and it was literally just pre-prescribed distances, and he just had ropes that he measured and taped out on the ropes, and you put the wickets on those ropes based off of your height in spikes or out of spikes. You kind of adjust up or down on which lane you might be in. You set up 3 lanes of wickets based on their height, assign them into there, group them, and have them run. If they're a faster athlete, you might size them up the next one. If they're a little bit slower for their height, you might size them down. But it's a really great way to do it. Emphasize frontside mechanics. Take a 10 or 15 or 20 meter run in, run through the wickets, and take 10 or 15 out on the backside. You get a really good, crisp technical run, and you hammer home frontside mechanics, because if you don't go frontside, you're gonna kick one of the wickets. And I think that's a really, really big one. I think another one that I've grown to really love is like a partner push. And that's a big one for me. So you can do it in 3 different variations, either the march, the skip, or the drive. Essentially, a partner is just holding onto your shoulders right here, giving you some kind of resistance, and you lean at that 45-degree angle into your partner. And then from there, you either march, driving the foot into the ground to push your partner, you skip, putting force in the ground, or you drive and release. So you'll drive for 10 meters. The partner will kind of then let go and peel off, and you'll drive out. So you go from resisted to unresisted right away within the same rep. No equipment, great for a primer and a warm-up, and you're ready to go, and you felt the position. Now you can directly apply it either in the same rep or immediately after when you're doing your workout reps. And again, it costs nothing. Your setup is pretty minimal. You just need to teach them, and probably after the first session, they know what they're doing. And then you immediately have direct application. Like, that's a big 3 checklist, and it's easy to implement with 100 people or 3 people.
Yeah, that one to me is almost like, because I remember us doing those at Elon. It's almost like taking the A series and getting more of that horizontal position, because you got the partner to, like, you're not afraid you're going to fall on your face. So, yeah.
Exactly. And it helps with projection angles, either in a field sport or if you're like clearing blocks. Like, you learn to push forward versus like overcasting and then driving up with all of your forces.
Yeah.
Big fan.
No, that's good, because I remember like in high school track, we would do a lot of wall drills and we would do arm action drills. And like the more I learned, like the arm action drills are probably the worst, I would argue.
Yeah.
Based on the stuff that you said. The wall drills, you might be able to argue for beginners, but even then, like,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a little bit tougher to argue that. And then I do like the point you made about, like, when you're doing the A series drills, especially with the A stick, you can really find out, like, with weaker guys, weaker athletes in general, and people that are just kind of uncoordinated, they cannot stick for the life of them. They can't even, like, it's almost like it's like a balance issue at that point, which is like they're so weak and uncoordinated that they
Mm-hmm.
can't even do that. And that really shows you, I think I like the way you put it, like it's almost like a movement screen, but you're also drilling. So you kind of get like the 2 for 1, and it's something that you can do every single day, which is what I also like about, I think, like A series and dribble series, like you can do that stuff like in some capacity pretty much every day within reason, and to kind of work
Yeah.
on sprint technique, which is what's great about it. Obviously, you can't sprint every day, probably be a bad idea, but that kind of stuff you can do often, which is nice. And you can do them in like early
There.
stages of like a hamstring rehab as well, just lower the intensity.
Oh yeah, I've used them in like a hamstring rehab, both a dribble and an A series in some way, shape, or form, just by adding either like a chain behind the athlete or a sled behind them. And all we're
Hmm.
doing is slowing down like the limb velocity. And that's really what you want to start off. And then once you can build up to, like, say, for me, we in the track and field, like we used, like, it was with a jumper, 30 meters is his typical runway. So I was like, when we can get to 30 meters pain free, very light resistance, well, now we'll just restart our entire progression unresisted and work our way back up. And it worked great. We got the athlete back. Thankfully, kid broke a school record. Just saying, being smart and working through things and getting things in the right order at the right time is a masterful piece that is often forgotten about. And like you mentioned with the sprint mechanic stuff, it's built in technically like low intensity, even if you're going all out, because you're not covering massive distances and because that you're not allowed to not only say not allowed, but you're not necessarily going to increase the forces as you go. And basically due to the velocity that you're traveling at, you can do them every single day. They're not going to hurt you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're definitely not covering as much ground total. You're probably not going to be. I mean, you can do them for however much distance you want, but you're not going to cover that ground as quickly. Especially when when I think of doing the A switches. I mean, you can do them stationary as well. I usually do them on the move. But I like to tell people you want the switch to be quick, but almost you do want that deliberate pause in between the switches. I tell people quick on the switches, but patience in between, if that makes sense. I think people can get and another thing that I think you and Gabe really taught me at Elon was people will reach too far. If you're doing an A switch or a boom boom for 10 yards, that can be a lot of reps, and you should only really be 6 to 10 inches for every rep. You don't want to be reaching out in front of you. You want to be striking under that hip, even though it is kind of more of it's
slightly
interesting
in front of the hip.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's you're upright, but it's more of that piston action. So it's kind of, you could be considered ACell or top speed, but it's a good drill regardless.
Yeah.
But I think people rush it a lot. We see guys down here, especially it's usually when it's difficult or it's challenging, they'll just reach out in front and cover 10 yards and 5 switches. And it's that's not really what we want. It's kind of the opposite of what you want. So,
yeah. And it just comes to being comfortable of what matters to you is, are you more concerned with today being an output day, or are you more concerned with getting the mechanics done right? And if you're okay with the mechanics done right and you want that, then be okay with we might cut a rep from the workout because we're going to readdress this, and we're going to do this until we get it right.
100%.
And that's why introing that to in the early stages of GPP, drilling that in so that way when you're getting to middle to late GPP or even SPP, you can just hit that real quick, use it as the warm up, that prep, and then get into your work and you're good to go. You don't feel like you have to continuously coach it if it's coached very, very well and deliberately the first couple of times.
100%. Yeah, definitely agree with you on that one. Yeah, that's good stuff. I think you could consider it a drill or it's really, it's a plyo. Bounding is another one that I think you're a big fan of, and there's definitely a right way to do it and a lot of wrong ways to do it. That's something that I
love bounding and getting weird with the bounds too. So not only do we have an extensive bound, an intensive bound, a power bound with a double arm swing versus a sprinter bound with a single arm swing, but especially when we get towards our jumpers or even just in field sports, just to throw some wrenches into the mix to see if they can get the coordination piece. Hey, hit a 2-1-2-1 where it's a double hop into a big bound arcing over. The swan bound I'm a big fan of, where basically your right leg will cross your midline and you're going to bound back, and your left leg will cross your midline and you're exposing the ankle in different directions. Or another one that is really cool that I really like with my jumpers, but I really like it here too. It's essentially a bound into a hop. So you'll bound, single leg hop, bound, single leg hop. So you're getting, essentially a first and a second phase backwards. So you're technically doing a second to first phase of a triple jump, but you get a lot of rhythm, a lot of coordination. And if you don't have that rhythm and coordination and having that kinesthetic awareness to direct force in the right way, it's going to look ugly real quick, at least for the coach to be that doesn't look right. We should bring it back and slow it down, change this. But it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, I really like the ones we did them with football. Coach DeMarco had them in there like early off season. We're doing like I guess it would technically be a hop, but looked almost more like a single leg bound where you're trying to stay upright, really focusing on like cycling that leg. That's one that I really like.
Yeah,
Definitely a right and a wrong way to
a
do it.
lot
You
of
don't want
height.
to cover a lot of height and not a lot of distance is the best way to do it, in my opinion, trying to stay more upright, not reaching, and then making sure that you're trying to actively cycle the leg that's jumping. Um, that can be difficult for a lot of people as well. We
I
got to pay
agree.
homage to the homie Andrew with the neon Dions. So that's more of, I mean, I guess it would be like a. I definitely think it's good like hamstring prep. I don't know if it'd be. I mean, obviously emphasizing striking under the hip. The more I just think about the the what do you call them, neon Dions. Those are just funny.
Yeah, the mini prime times to I really like if you bring them all together. 10 yards mini prime time, 10 yards full like straight leg bound or full prime times,
Hmm.
and the last 10 ripping it
Sprint.
into a full intensity like cycle with that sprint. Yeah,
Yeah, I like the straight leg bound to sprint. I do like that. Um, and I think that's good for like hamstring as well, like striking under the hip, and even like I've heard some people using
exactly.
that for like we talked about a little bit about like return to play. Like if someone
Hmm.
can't sprint, maybe they can handle like a lower intensity, like straight leg bound. Again, we're still getting that
Hmm.
like pattern, but just slowing down the total velocity. If that makes sense.
Yep. I even worked into like a bent knee kind of. So like I would call them like a bent knee scissor bound, which would just be a
Hmm.
long elongated prime time, just with a slightly bent knee. And then it starts to look a little bit more with those like knee positions and ankle positions of like a sprint, and then you can work your way back into the sprint. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Shit.
Alrighty.
Well, we're at about a little
Yeah.
over an
We
hour.
ripped a full
This
hour.
one, yeah,
Yeah.
this one started off a little dry. I do think it got better once you started talking shit on the cotton candy, and then we got into some training stuff. You got into some training stuff at the end, so yeah. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. Jake's takes. I'm sure I'll come back with something with another hot take. Obviously, that's his literally his only job on this
Yeah.
show, so you damn well better do it. Um, like
We'll
shit,
fire his
man.
ass.
Yeah, exactly. Fire his ass from his unpaid job. So follow us on Instagram. So it's bedboys.tv for the Bed Boys account. We're going to start posting a lot more short form content, just basically little clips from these episodes, blowing up your feed until you go watch the video or unfollow us. Hopefully the former, not the latter. And then our personal social media is French underscore fit 40 on Instagram. Brian is.
B Shakuski, so BSZUTKOWSKI. We are collaborated with any of the Bev Boys Instagram posts. So if you guys ever can't find us, go to bevboys.tv, check the and more, and you'll see our two Instagram accounts on there as well. We post not only Bev Boys stuff, but we'll also be posting different training ideas, as well as just a collection of what we do and our theories and what we're reading, as well as some of our social lives. So if you're a big fan, obviously go check that out. Definitely like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Definitely give us a good rating. I don't know why, but Spotify, Apple Podcasts, those they rely heavily on the ratings. So please take some pity on us. Go throw us a couple 5-star reviews. Just say you like it, even though you hate it. Just help a guy grow. We really love it. And then obviously go to the best website in the entire nation, maybe possibly the entire world. I love it. I made it. Our pictures on it. Might be great. I don't know. Go to bevboys.com, BEVBOIS.com. That's got some pictures of us. They're definitely corny. We recreated the creation, and it's us over some energy drinks and a little heart. We made that photo. We love it. It's actually one of my backgrounds on one of my computers. But get yourself a t-shirt. There's going to be new ones as we go. We always like to update with more and more and more. We have the Paul Mall shirt out, the Paul Mall hoodie. I have to get my Paul Mall hoodie. I have it sitting in my cart, and guess what? Because it was sitting in my cart and I didn't pay for it, I got an email from Bev Boys, and they said, "Hey man, you didn't order. Why don't you take this $5 coupon and go complete your purchase?" So maybe you guys should do that too. I'm not saying do it. Maybe just purchase the full time. Help the boys out. But definitely go to bevboys.com, BEVBOIS.com. But that's all we got for us today. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.